week in St. Louis, he finds a different situation. 1 year after the Supreme Court decision for integration, the Carolinas and other southern states had not moved in that direction. But here in the border state of Missouri, the St. Louis schools launched a full-scale desegregation program in less than the year the court allowed for study of methods. At the time of the decision, St. Louis started desegregation in its special schools, then teachers' colleges, and then 2 months ago in high schools like this one. Elementary schools are next. Does it work?
Listen in, the radio's on, announcement to the town. Listen to the frequency, tune into the sound. The alarms protect the youth from harm. From Vietnam to the land of the Islam, they try to spread the ideology by dropping bombs. Speak the word of rhapsody and bring about the calm before the storm when the air rains fire. If you wanna live, gotta vibrate higher.
Mr. Hickey, you're winding up your first semester here since you ended segregation. How has it worked?
We feel that the integration of the secondary schools has worked at a level much higher than even our best hopes would have anticipated.
First you gotta look back. Don't react when you fall upon the reason that your seasoned way of thinking is whack.
Have you had any friction or difficulties of any kind?
With the exception of one minor problem in one of the high schools, which is a problem that we'd probably have had any day, and anyway, we've had no problems of any kind.
So now it's time to rebuild. Reach to the sky with our minds, not our scrapers. Find a way to love your life without the need for paper. It seems utopic, and yet I stand with a camera around my shoulder, megaphone in my hand. Hit 'em! Talk to the man in the Navy armor. Speak the word of peace, keep the adversaries calmer. They play the pessimist and bring about their sticks and fists. I plead the fifth, but it doesn't exist.
Well, why did you go ahead with it now instead of waiting for the final decision from the Supreme Court?
Well, our Board of Education, of course, is the responsible body in this community. And if you know St. Louis, that from the time that Jefferson took over this territory as part of the United States, there's always been a great belief in democracy. 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 Democracy.
You heard it loud and clear, now I appear to reconciliate the world, destroy the fear that apocalypse is near. Don't worry, become the entity that you are meant to be. Break free of this fake reality and embrace your brothers and sisters as humanity. Only then can they get mad at me, the powers that be. Disrupt the system and they'll listen, no, they'll beg and they'll plead. Forget them, yo, we got people to feed.
Before the ending of the segregation came, the children in the grade school would fight each other. But they didn't even understand why they were fighting each other. They didn't even have a good reason.
Well, as far as I've seen, it's worked out wonderfully. I mean, we haven't had any trouble at all. And I mean, you notice maybe there were a few instances where we had a little, but it was not noticeable. And I've had a grand time. And I'm doing the best I can here.
Really, it's worked out much better than many of us expected. I mean, at first when we heard that segregation was going to end, we anticipated a lot of trouble. And I mean, there was a lot of talk in the school about trouble that might happen. But really, it's worked out fine, and I'm really glad that the schools have been integrated.